Hey, it is Carmine Appice, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
This
is record. There you go. That's a beautiful place, right?
Yeah, it must suck.
What a rough life.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
please tell me you're going to go enjoy a cold beverage on the beach later today.
Well, we might. We see. Actually, this is we have a house here that we rent, and we have to come. Sadly, we have to come here 3 or 4 times a year.
Oh man, what a rough
on
life.
The house. So when we come, it's not really a vacation, you know.
Yeah.
Like we have a whole bunch of things we're fixing now. This is wrong. That's wrong. We got to go to Ace Hardware and get a couple of light fixtures and, just fix stuff. But it's good to hang and relax, because we live in Florida anyway now. So it's not very similar. Instead of the ocean behind us, we have a canal and a lake.
Yeah.
So
either way, it's not too
life
shabby.
Life is good in my 70s,
Yeah, you don't even look close to 70, dude.
Yeah, well, if I take the glasses out, I see all the bags. But,
well, after decades of touring, those are expected, right?
Yeah, man, we're still doing it. We got a bunch of shows booked. We had a couple of shows for me and my brother booked in February, but it looks like they're going to move those because of the stupid COVID thing.
Jeez.
Unbelievable, man. This thing is like, we're writing a new song. I'm doing a new King Cobra record. We're writing a new song, and Paul Shotina wrote it about, the COVID thing. He's calling Warriors of the Dark. And I said, we should just call Warriors of the Virus.
Nice.
So I was just reading about the Guitar Zeus.
Right.
And I kind of have mixed feelings about it. Not in a weird way, but like you have all of these pardon my language, unfucking believable guitar players playing on that record.
I know.
and and you are like one of the most iconic rock drummers in history.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So
I live with it every day. I don't view myself as that.
Right.
But like, so who was more flattered to play with who? That's where I'm conflicted. I mean,
I think it was both ways, because I had the way it happened. I had a plan for this stupid thing, Basically, I'm opening up a little root beer barrel.
The worst.
That's what the noise is. So basically, it started like 1992, and I had a band with Jeff Watson and Joe Lynn Turner and Bob Daisley. Not bad guys, right? So, but that was when Nirvana and grunge was big, and we were like dinosaurs. Nobody wanted to hear about us.
Right.
So we had this band together. And I had a solo album out in 1982. This is 1992. I was trying to get another one. Jeff Watson comes out of Night Ranger like that, gets a solo deal. She's a guitar player. And I said, what got to be a guitar player to get a damn solo album again? It's ridiculous. So I said, maybe I'll do a guitar album. I said, a drummer doing a guitar album. I'll call it Guitar Gods. I get all my friends to play on it. And then we were messing with the name Zeus for the band, which we ended up calling it Mother's Army. I don't know why. I think Zeus is a better name. I said, I'll call it Guitar Gods. And I said, I'll call it Guitar Zeus. That's what I'll do. And I'll get my friends to play on it and blah, blah, blah. And then I went to bed that night. When you're sleeping, you're trying to sleep and your brain's going, I'm thinking, that's a freaking good idea. Guitar Zeus, what a cool name. And I can get my friends to play on it. And then I'm thinking ahead. I said, I can do drum magazines, guitar magazines, rock magazines, and talk about this guitar album. So I said, I'm going to do it. It took me 2 years to find a manager to get me a deal,
Really?
I was getting, And as I was in those 2 years, I did a clinic at House of Guitars with Brian May. He did a clinic. Freddie had died, and Queen weren't doing anything. So he was doing a clinic at House of Guitars. So was I. It was like a clinic day. Excuse me. So I said, hey, Brian, if I did this album, would you play on it? He goes, yeah. Then I went to a Ted Nugent gig in L.A. Ted, would you play on it? Sure. And then I called my friends, 2 guys in King's X, Doug and Ty.
Doug is
They
awesome.
they were still hip, in 92, 93.
Right.
King's X was like still hip because they were like almost grungy,
Right.
but they were soulful, and they said, yeah, we play on it. So then I said, now all I need is a record deal. So in 1994, I was going to Japan with Tony Franklin, Kelly Keeling, who was on the second Blue Murder album. And the second Blue Murder album was huge in Japan. So I went there as Rock Super Session Volume 2. I'd gone there in 82 with Volume 1, and we needed a guitar player. So we thought about this guy, Doug Aldrich, who was big in Japan. Nobody knew him in America. So we got a hold of him. He said, I can't do it. But, we had to talk to his manager. And his manager said he can't do it. So we got Mitch Perry to do it. But then I told the manager about this album idea. And he said, I could get a deal for this in Japan. I said, no kidding. He did.
Wow.
Got me a deal in Japan.
Wow.
And then while we were there, I'm talking to Kelly. I'm saying, Kelly is a great singer and a great writer like John Sykes. Would you want to work with me on the songs? He said, yeah. So then I had Kelly, me. Of course, I wanted Tony Franklin on it because I love Tony as a bass player. Playing with Blue Murder was so cool for me with him. I ran after Blue Murder because of Sykes and Tony. They're such great players. So Tony said, yeah, I'll do it. I said, great. And Kelly said, I can play all the rhythm guitars and we'll write the songs. Now we have a deal. Let's go. So that's what we did. The first guy I got on it, Brian May. I gave him a choice of songs. Second guy, Ted Nugent. Third people, Doug and Ty. Now I'm thinking, these guys are going to be drawing cards.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So Kelly was doing a couple of songs with Yngwie. He heard about it. So he wanted to do it. And I had Doug, as a singer, he says, I want to be on the track with Doug Pinnick. I said, okay, you got it.
Sweet.
When I talked to Mick Mars, I had Edgar Winter singing a song. I want to be on the track with Edgar Winter.
You have Mick Mars on there?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Mick Mars to me might be one of the most underrated guitar players of the 80s.
Yeah, without a doubt. He's really good because you know what? He's more old school than the other guys. He's more closer to my age. And he's a real good, he's a good player. Now he's got that problem with sickness. It's I think it's affecting his whole physical health.
Right.
But he's a great guy. Good guy.
But in terms of having a unique sound, Mick really, like if you hear Mick play, it's Mick. Like you don't even have to see
I had him play slide.
Really?
Yeah. He played slide on the song. It's the one with Edgar Winter. I have to look at the title. There's there's 39 songs.
Did you do a lot of the production yourself, or did you have somebody else do it?
I did most of it myself. I mean, I had this guy, the first album. How does that sound? Pat Regan was like co-producer with me on the second album, and the first guy escapes my name. Yeah, his name escapes me. But anyway, they didn't totally produce it. I was there, I had to approve everything,
right?
So because this was like my deal, and I wrote songs with Kelly. We had a special tuning for the album. You guys either guitar players, any of you?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. Well, my tuning on a lot of the songs were D D E E E D.
Oh, weird.
And then you could use one finger.
Yeah.
So like the song that John Norum's on, Nothing, I wrote the original riff on the guitar.
Oh, really?
Using that tuning, yeah. And songs Angels, I wrote all the music for that. Yeah. I used to sing and doo-wop stuff in the 60s, early 60s before Vanilla Fudge. And I majored in music in high school, so I learned chords and play a little guitar, a little bass, keyboard, and sing. So
it's crazy. We were prepping for this yesterday and talking about it, and man, I can't believe your body of work. It's absolute insanity. Did you ever imagine, like back in school when you were, that this was where you'd end up?
No. I always wanted to be a drummer and make a living as a drummer, but I never thought I would, be a record recording star for 7 decades now going on.
Crazy.
Like, we were talking about what we were talking about yesterday. Oh, Betty White. She passed away. She was like 8 decades, or going on 9 decades. And I said to my wife, I said, "Look, I'm at 7 decades myself."
Right.
I'm going after Betty's record.
And still going. And still
putting out good stuff, right?
I think this Guitar Zeus stuff is some of the best stuff I've ever done. It's got so much great production, great songs, great playing. Time signatures, progressive. It's very interesting. It's not boring. It's not run of the mill. It's got its own sound. And it's still, come on, I did this in 95 and 97.
Right.
It still sounds now.
Yeah.
So that was all analog then, probably, right?
All analog.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that stuck out to me, was the snare sounded like it was hammering the tape, and I was just like,
yeah, it was hammered. I used all my Andy Johns miking techniques that I learned
cool.
with Andy during the Rod Stewart and the BBA days.
May he rest in peace. I'm actually working on Andy John's drum library right now. So
what do you mean?
I own a software company.
Oh, really?
And he did a drum library with a company called Platinum Samples a long time ago. And anyways, we've developed our own player with Platinum Samples, and we're converting Andy John's drum library over to that.
So do you market it and all that stuff too?
It will be marketed, heavily.
Oh,
yeah.
You should do the Carmine drum library.
We can.
There you go.
Just let me know. Let me know if you want to do it. We'll do it.
I got my studio in the house now, so I don't know what it takes to do, but
it's boring as hell. But if you have the time, it's well worth it.
I think I have. I just remembered I did one in Vegas that was never released.
Yeah. Well, we have
it was all done analog.
Oh wow, that would be hard. That would be difficult. But we have
that'd be difficult. Well, it's digital now.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, it was done analog and then transferred to digital.
Yeah, we have
I think Paul Shortino has a copy of it.
Oh man, I want it. We have a proprietary sampling technique that we give to the artists that we work with. Mm-hmm. And then we built all the front end software to get it ready and make it playable and all that kind of stuff. It's a pretty long process on our end, but on your end, the longest parts are just the hi-hats and the ride cymbals, and they take forever because you got to let them ring out.
Let me see what we have.
Yeah, if we can exchange information.
Spending days doing that stuff, putting it on analog. Now Paul said he has it on digital.
If you want to do another one, let me know and exchange information with me, and I'll see what I can arrange, because I would be honored to do that.
Okay.
That actually leads to my next question, though. Sorry to get off topic that way, but your snare sound is, most drummers have a snare sound that they keep, and they use that throughout their career.
Mm-hmm.
Your snare sound is always different, and it's always very well tuned.
Yeah,
but it always sounds like you.
It must be the way I hit it, because I'm not a tuning freak.
Yeah.
I do use different snares. In my studio now, I've been using mostly 2003 Slingerland Radio King snare, 5-inch.
Oh, I love that drum.
Right. But on this, which track did I use it on? I just used it on the new track for King Cobra. I have a 1924 Ludwig Black Beauty, 15-inch.
Oh.
and that's a little fatter sounding. And it really sounds good.
That's a bit wide. That's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. And I got a UV1 head on it, Evans UV1.
Yeah.
And on my Slingerland, I have the Carmine Aquarian head on it, which has really great bite to it.
Yeah, the Aquarian heads have a lot of nice attack to them. They're really
then
cool.
I'm using my 1971 24x15 bass drums, Ludwig's.
Oh, man.
Just sound unbelievable, these bass drums. And I'm using beaters, the regular beaters.
Yeah.
Not that plastic crap,
Yeah, so like you're talking like the wood beater?
No.
Or like felt. Oh, nice.
The ball.
Yeah, I got you.
I even got the felt strip going down the back of the heads like we used to do.
Yeah. What heads are you using?
And I don't use pillows. I use newspaper inside the bass drums.
Really?
You know what? I actually learned this trick from a drummer named Pat Stewart. I don't know if you know him. He played with Bryan Adams for years and years and years.
Mm-mm.
And I
so.
think he told me he learned it by reading about an article from you.
Yeah.
And he would shred up newspaper and put them in the toms specifically.
Oh, and the toms too. I never done the toms.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Oh.
Yeah. But anyways,
I'm gonna
that was
try
just
that.
that's a off topic
I
conversation.
put them in. Well, I got it from Dino Danelli.
Yeah.
And we used to varnish the inside of the bass drums to seal up all the pores. And then you put newspaper strips like 3 inches wide, like strip them up. And
Yeah.
put a palm about maybe that high in the bass drum. And
Yeah.
it takes away all the bad harmonics you don't want to hear, all the tones. But it doesn't make it sound like a pillow, like that, you know?
I understand, yeah.
It still sounds like a drum.
Yeah, it still resonates, but it doesn't go. It doesn't
And the bass drum itself is 24 by 15, which is longer. You know.
Oh my God!
And it's wood in 1971. It's prime wood now. You know, it just sounds great.
How many issues of a newspaper do you have to put in each of those drums? My God, that's a big drum.
No, you just pile this much up. I mean, it usually takes about three pages of a regular newspaper, you know, both sides.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know, so you got you rip it up, you get like maybe 4 or 5 out of each page. So you put like 20 sheets in there.
Well, man, I really appreciate you sharing this stuff with me because I'm a geek for drums. I'm not a drummer at all.
I'm getting. Have you heard my Energy Overload record?
I don't know if I have, most likely, but I'm terrible with names.
No, it's new. It's a instrumental record, and I did it at my studio.
Energy Overload?
Energy Overload. You can put it in the computer on YouTube.
Okay, with Fernando?
Yeah, with Fernando, right? And look at the track Energy Overload.
Okay.
I think that was done with these bass drums.
Okay, I got it logged in here. I'll check it after the interview.
Check it out. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's got
man.
Kick-ass drum sound. You know.
That's crazy. Oh my God, I'm so I
can
talk.
You're nerding out.
And it sounds great. You know, I'm writing these Christian songs when I'm recording them, and Christian songs it's very tribal, a lot of tom-toms and all that stuff, you know.
Right.
And I go to this Christian church down here in Florida, well, up there in Florida. I mean,
I guess. Right.
And it's like a revival. It's amazing. You know, the singer, it's amazing. I took him, he put him on the tracks, and I got female singers on there and the guitar player. And we're writing some just great Christian songs. I recorded them, and I utilized these drums with Pat Regan mixing it. And man, the drum sound is spectacular.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to
and
check it
I
out.
love it. I walked through my garage, and there it is. It's all set up.
And you just have to hit record.
D drum toms. I got D drum toms, 12, 13, 16. The 2 Ludwig old bass drums, and the various snare drums. You know, I got Slingerland snares, brass ones. I got brass D drum. I got Ludwig 1924. I got a 1969 Ludwig that I use as a high snare as a piccolo on the left side. And when I use that, I pan it all the way to the left. You know.
Wow.
So if you do a feel like ga 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 on the little one, then the big one, and then the toms, you know, you follow the stereo all around. It's really pretty cool.
Man,
do you play in the church as well? Do you play in the church as well, like on Sunday morning?
I want to.
I
want to because it's just a great band, they have 8 vocalists. It sounds like a gospel thing. I love all that stuff. You know?
Oh yeah.
And, matter of fact, when I joined the church, I first started going, they had an electronic drum set. And I said, oh, dude, I got to get you some drums. I got them a D drum kit. I got the church a D drum kit. And this kid that's playing it, he's 28 years old. He's a freaking monster. You know?
Wow.
And so I'm going to write a book with him called a Realistic Christian Rock Drumming.
Wow.
And we already videoed with 4 cameras, you know, 4 songs in his little booth.
Right.
And we're transcribe it and talk about how to build up to play these patterns and all. But he's an awesome player. And a few times he goes out of town and they get somebody to fill in. Right? Actually, I was supposed to fill in when I got home from this trip, but then his trip got canceled. So,
Right.
but I got the church behind me on the songs that we're going to do. So
So
at some point I'm going to play the church stuff with the church with 2 drummers.
So
Nice.
you got bumped. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard of.
What's that? I got what?
You got bumped. Like I was supposed to do
bumped,
the gig,
yeah.
but the other drummer took it. You know?
I got bumped.
Right.
But I know all the songs now, and I know the way that the singer, who's the guy that sang on my stuff, I know all the signals, and the verse, 4-chord,
So
one chord, all
the
stuff,
story here is Carmine is the understudy.
I'm the understudy. You're right. I'm the understudy and the songwriter.
Right.
I'm the songwriter on 3 songs.
Right.
But it's a lot of fun going there. The band is so good; it's inspiring. Every time I go to Sunday service,
That's
even
great.
if you look at it online, it's a great band.
That's great.
When I was a kid, one of my favorite songs in the world was Young Turk or Young Turks.
Oh my God, no kidding.
And I didn't even know that was the name of the song because that's not in the song at all anywhere.
No, I know. That was funny, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get asked about that a lot.
So
Yeah.
I was just like, when I realized when I was looking this up that you co-wrote that song, I was just like, I have been listening to this guy for decades, and I didn't even know half the time that I was.
Yeah.
How?
Well, do you think I'm sexy? There was even bigger,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you keep hanging on. It's just been in that last Quentin Tarantino movie. It was like they quadruple our royalties.
Yeah.
You
I
can't
just found
complain
out
about
yesterday they're releasing through Rhino license and Cherry Red a complete, unbelievably huge box set of Cactus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, next year. No, this year, 2022.
Wow.
And with everything we ever recorded, and they're calling it Evil. Something to do with the song Evil, which is probably one of Cactus's main songs.
Right.
But they left out, they were writing bits about Cactus, but they left out 2 of the most important things. That Hot for Teacher was basically the template for Hot for Teacher was Parchment Farm by Cactus.
Really?
Right?
I've read that. Yeah.
And the intro to our song called "Let Me Swim" was pretty much Eruption.
Wow.
It was just a big chord and guitar thing, and then we went blam, 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 changed the chord.
Right.
They did it exactly like that. And they were big Cactus fans,
Interesting.
When I put Vanilla Fudge back together, I was talking to Eddie on the phone. He goes, "Hey, fuck Vanilla Fudge, put Cactus back together." And we did, actually, with 3 out of 4 guys,
So
Wow.
you seem like a pretty calm, relaxed, even-headed guy. What was it like touring with Ozzy? Because he doesn't really come across that way. Maybe that's just his public persona. I don't know.
Ozzy's a bit spaced,
Yeah.
He's a good guy, a nice guy, but his wife is the vicious one.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
She fires everybody. She screwed everybody. Bob Daisley, Lee Kerslake got screwed out of millions. I got screwed out of
Jake too, right?
200,000. Jake got screwed. I'm sure Randy got screwed. Everybody that works with them, and it's not Ozzy,
Right.
After she fired me because she said my name was too big, they need more of a. They need more. That's what she told me. She said, "Your name's too big. We need more of a sideman." So we're getting Tommy Aldridge back, and I was replacing Tommy Aldridge because they didn't like what he did on the album. When they called me in to help finish the album and fix the drum sound, and with me and Tony Bon Jovi, I had an associate producer credit on the first 500,000 Bark at the Moon product.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I
if
know
you
I
have a Bark at the Moon that's associate producing Carmine Appice. That was one of the first 500,000. I was supposed to get paid for that, which I never did.
Wow.
I'm trying to think when I saw you, because I saw you back. Were you on the Diary tour?
No, I was on Bark at the Moon.
Just Bark at the Moon?
Yeah.
Okay, so I definitely had seen that show
And I was only on it from October till March, you know.
Yeah,
It
I
was
mean,
just
I definitely
January.
remember seeing you for sure.
I mean, come on. I had my own merch on the tour. I had my own PR guy, but
Right,
she worked out the deal with my manager. They called me. I didn't call them.
right,
You know, they called me, and I was doing fine with what I was doing.
right.
I was a spokesperson for Mattel's and Sonic's drums. I was in Cannes, France, when they called me. I was making a lot of money from them, getting a lot of visibility, and doing Vanilla Fudge albums. I did an album with Rick Derringer, myself, and I worked with Posture Records. I developed the drum sound with Dwayne Barron that created the Pasha sound, that Quiet Riot used.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's like the whole mental health stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So every time when it went big, I said to Frankie, I said, "Man, you're the first one that used my drum sound, other than me at Pasha, and it's gone huge." He said, "Thank you," and gave me a kiss on the cheek.
He was a great guy. We interviewed him.
He was a good guy.
We interviewed him just before, or actually, I think right about the time he got sick, and he was so gracious and so nice.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Every time we used to do stuff together, like Bonzo Bash and stuff, he'd always come to the rehearsal place with pasta.
Yeah.
He'd always give me a kiss and a hug, and he was always a wonderful guy.
I remember
we were friends.
We were supposed to have an interview with him, and we called the number, and his wife answered, and she's like, "Hello?" We're like, Bruce is like, "We're supposed to have an interview." She's like, "I don't think so." Bruce is like, okay.
Yeah, she's the manager. She would know.
Right.
And then Bruce is like, I can't remember the publicist that set it up. And she goes, "Well, let me check." And all of a sudden you hear her like go up the stairs. "Hey, do you have an interview?" He's like, "I don't know, but I'll do it." And he just came down.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
And he
He was
chatted
great.
with us for a long time.
I never had any bad words to say about Frankie ever.
I don't think anybody did. That's like
nice guy.
that was his reputation in the business, as just being like sort of like Eric Carr, right? Just a really nice guy.
Yeah, another nice guy. I remember seeing him after he got sick. Then he supposedly got better.
Right.
And then I saw him backstage at a gig in LA, and he looked so bad.
But super guy too.
Nice guy.
I think he
Eric
just
Singer,
played in Vegas.
Nice guy.
Eric Singer just played.
Yeah.
Eric Singer and who was it? They just played the Kiss Cruise, and then they did a show at Vamped in Vegas.
Oh wow.
Right. Oh yeah. Who Kissed it?
No, not Kiss. It was
Eric.
Eric, yeah.
Yeah, Eric was discovered at my drum off. The Guitar Center drum offs.
Yeah.
I started that in 1980.
I loved Eric in Badlands. My God.
Yeah, Eric was bad. He's a great player. Alice Cooper, he was great in Alice Cooper.
So let's take it back to Carmine for a second, because we're running up against our time. But King Cobra, I'm excited to hear about that. When is that? When are you looking to do something with that?
Well, that's an interesting. I don't know, dude. I'm working with Rowan Robinson and Carlos Cavazza.
Wow.
Okay. Me, Johnny Rod, and Paul Shortino. So we're writing songs. So first we started with Rowan. We wrote some songs with Rowan, and then we got Carlos involved, and Carlos wrote a few songs. And we're trying to get them both together to on the same tracks.
Right.
And, play a little different, and with the COVID, the other two King Cobra albums, I went to Vegas, and David Michael Phillips and me and Paul wrote all the stuff, put it all together in Vegas. Then we flew Johnny Rod in, we put the bass on. It didn't take as long as this. We've been working on this since June.
Oh, wow.
With the COVID, it's been crazy. First we had Robbie from Great White was going to be doing it.
Oh, wow.
And then he disappeared, like he started doing gigs, and we didn't hear from him for 3 or 4 weeks. I said, "Man, we can't do this." I said to Paul the other day, I said, "We probably would have had the album done if we used Robbie." The other two are like, the amazing players.
Right.
And it's interesting because I got that Andy John's killer drum sound, very Zeppelin-ish kind of Carmine, John Bonham kind of sound together. And so it's like Zeppelin meets King Cobra.
That's nice.
And you got Rowan plays that English way, and Carlos plays the 80s heavy metal.
Yeah. The LA's way. Yeah.
It's an interesting combination, so we're coming up with some great stuff, and Paul's doing a great job with lyrics, and then every once in a while, every like week or so, Carlos says, I got a new song.
As a King Cobra fan, I'm very excited for it. That'll be stoked. And
it's really interesting. It's a very interesting King Cobra record, this one.
That's great. Chris, we're only at 7 minutes left on this recording, so if you've got something else you want to ask real quick.
I don't. I'm just very grateful for your time today. It's been a pleasure.
Oh my goodness.
Because I actually didn't know how much of an influence you were on me until I started prepping for this interview. And I realized just what you have done, that I grew up.
Right. It's a soundtrack to my life.
Yeah. Trying to emulate. I hadn't.
That's a good name for a compilation for me.
Soundtrack to your life?
Soundtrack of my life.
Yeah.
I literally used to use a tennis racket as an air guitar or a microphone for
Did
Young
you read
Turk.
my book?
No.
Guys? Stick It, My Life with Sex, Drums, and Rock and Roll. You should read that.
I'll check it out.
Okay, I will. That's awesome.
It has, Led Zeppelin opened up for Vanilla Fudge. We paid half their fee.
Crazy.
We were sold out. The promoter didn't want them. Our agent pushed it on, and they will tell you what, Vanilla Fudge will pay half. $1,500 it was. We paid $750. Right?
Wow.
And we took them on tour, and I got John Bonham as Ludwig endorsement. And, and it goes way. It tells all that stuff. And,
my God!
Deep Purple opened up for us. Frank Zappa opened up for us.
Wow.
Grand Funk Railroad, Three Dog Night, Ted Nugent. I mean, just
my
so
God.
People,
So I just want to say thank you for all of the music and the memories. You are definitely, like I said, the soundtrack to my life. Well, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's a great title. You're going to see that come up somewhere.
There you go.
and I'll say, if you are interested in doing a drum library,
I am actually. I'm thinking because the way I play and all that. It's like I'm 75 now. How long can I do this? I do shows with my brother, and he's 11 years younger.
Right.
So I have to keep up with him. But when I do a solo, like the last gig we did a couple of months ago, he said, my brother said, Carmine Appice on drums, and crowd reacts, and he goes, how many people do you know would play like that at 75?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, am I going to be able to play like that? I'm 85. I don't know.
Yes.
So it might be good to have a library.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I'm sorry we had to switch it. We were traveling yesterday.
It's all good. I appreciate you even just making the time. Here's to another 20 years of making good music, man.
Hey, God bless. I hope so.
Be well.
Cheers, bro.
Take care, my friend.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello out there. Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.